Thanks for staying with us. So joining our conversation is the king of comedy we all know as Alibaba in the building. Good to have you.
Thank you very much.
So before you came in, we were talking about Yul Edochie, you know, how he just threw this matter on us. And BC was saying that, you know, we must face the reality that polygamy is here. And the fact that we must just accept this, the possibility that many men are likely to go into this. And the angle Nibera came from was the fact that, listen, I think it was Wike that was saying, we have to get a prenuptial agreement, because she was saying that even if you're going to go into it, if you've invested 17 years, it shouldn't be for free. You got to pay for it. You got to sacrifice something, because abroad, when you go out of that contract called marriage, there is a consequence for that action. And we should find a way to see how we can push and ensure that there's a prenuptial agreement that we sign. So that even if he goes, you know you're protected. What are your thoughts on this issue of polygamy? Has it come to stay? Should women, because Wike make an interesting statement, said, we are under no illusions. We should be under no illusions. That, listen, there's a possibility that our men can go and bring a
real.
Because one thing that we don't
my mouth can't even say the words.
Because one will be saying, women, no, women must stick together. But it's a woman that will come, even if she's your friend, will come and meet your husband because she fancies your husband and she'll go out with your husband.
Absolutely.
And so
she'll flirt with your husband.
She will do
women supporting women
to the house.
You're happy to support.
The two of you will be sitting down.
YK.
And hands are under the table. YK some point.
Okay, don't suffer small. Let's say don't suffer.
Okay, so my position is really that monogamy is a detour for African understanding.
A detour.
It's a detour. It's not our story.
Thank you.
It's not. It wasn't our story. It's just like Western education. It wasn't our story. We imbibed it because of the missionaries that came.
Yeah.
If it were the Arabs that came through the Niger Delta and not the missionaries that came through, we probably have taken on Arabic culture. Yeah. And if the missionaries had come from Egypt down to the north, a lot of them would have been Muslims. So there would have been Christians. So it is what we got acclimatized to, and then we adapted it. It is not African. Though you had back then Africans who decided that they would have one wife. They had not met Christianity, they had not met Islam, but they decided they would have one wife because of what they can contain.
Their sanity.
Okay. And then you also understand that polygamy back in the days started because of several reasons. One was the fact that there was need to do farming. There was need to have many people that have hands that work in the place. Then there was another to procreate and grow a tribe. Because what happens is a man leaves, so one man will just leave from Kogi and move to like Ife and start a family, and he's just him and 4 other women. And when he gets there, he'll meet them. Don't forget that back then, men go to war. And when they go to war, they die in war. And then you then have like 6, 7 women who are around, don't have the men that will take care of them. So polygamy then took care of all of that. It's either that or you then have the women being a stress to other married men in the community. Yeah. So, and that was the same reason which informed what the prophet did, peace be on his name, when he said, you should take on all those women and make sure that they are okay, so nobody sees them and disrespects them. So polygamy in African setting is a tradition and is something that is a culture that we detoured from to embrace the Western this in practice. So it is not also bad. But if you then go into Christianity proper, it didn't frown at polygamy. It didn't frown at polygamy. There was somebody who went to get one wife, and that was not the kind of wife that he wanted, and he got the second one, 2 sisters.
Change them, yes, nah.
So if it could be allowed at that time for even 2 sisters, then it could be it could be allowed for even different people.
What are we saying, Governor?
A sister betrayed
what are we saying in summary?
In summary, it is that in African setting, polygamy is not wrong.
So Yul Edochie right now is okay. He's fine that he brought him.
Okay, let me. Now that you're talking about Yul Edochie, what do you want him to do? Do you prefer baby mama to wife?
I prefer that he respects the first wife and then takes her permission. Say, okay, so you've strayed. A lot of men can stray. Out of respect for these 17 years and these amazing children we have put together.
Okay.
Respectfully, I'm not going to put this new family of mine out in the open to the world and display them. Say, hey, look at my new beautiful baby. No, because of you,
okay,
I'll keep them aside.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know the relationship Yul Edochie and his wife has?
No. I don't know, but based on her response to him saying that God will judge the two of you, I'm assuming.
Now, do you know that that speaks a lot of volumes?
Yes.
About her, right?
About her and the man.
Whoa.
About their relationship.
I mean, what speaks even more volume for me is the fact that he has a woman outside his marriage that he has had a child with. Because if we're saying that if what you're insinuating is that there may be issues at home, then do it properly.
Okay, now...
Don't go out and then put something on the side.
Yeah,
and
that's
then
how it's done.
I find that men...
Okay, so, no, but wait now, for you, it looks like he put it on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know if it has been something that
he never
didn't put on the side?
Okay.
And
we don't have that detail.
Yes.
We don't have those details. So it may be that they were like keeping it and saying, no problem, don't get it into the press or
okay. What of flaunting it on social media? Is that right?
The baby,
Some people have alleged...
with all due respect, that baby is not a newborn baby. That baby has been born a while.
Yeah.
The baby I saw.
But some people have alleged that some blogger
wanted
to... Some people allege that some blogger wanted to put the story out.
And he quickly...
so he stood in front of that story.
It's a blogging element. You have to throw anything to drive traffic.
Yes.
You know, some bloggers, if they don't have this kind of stories, they push a story out, they get 4 views, 10 views.
Yes.
So when they get a story, even if it's from another blog, they'll push it on and get about like 6, 7 views. Because if you put some 10 blogs together, they won't have 100 views.
My question I would like to ask you, I know things like this happen, is what then happens to wife one? If she were your sister, a family member, what sort of advice would you give her at this point?
Okay, so most times when this kind of things happen, it's like she said, it's the relationship that the person and his wife has had over time. Sometimes, back in the days, I know of women who have said, because of this work that I'm doing, Monloreja, Monloragi, Monlora, this, I don't have that time to fulfill my wifely duties. They will marry a girl and give to the man. Back in the days, even not too long ago, we heard of a politician whose husband was like, you are getting into this politics too much. I don't see you all the time. And she was okay. And he got a young undergraduate that he married and could fulfill all those needs. Big-time politician. But the caveat was that you don't flaunt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't flaunt her. You need to respect me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, to the point, it's that things like this happen, but it is the family. It is the family and the orientation the people have. If Yul Edochie was Muslim, would this be an issue?
Not at all.
No, of course not.
So, are you now saying that if it happened in a Muslim family, it's a problem?
No, it may be an issue. It will not be an issue for us, but we don't know for the woman in the house. Because the fact that it's acceptable does not always mean that it's easy to swallow.
Yeah.
No.
I come from a Muslim background. I know that it's not easy for a first wife to accept the second wife. No matter how normalized it is in the religion, you're still
even the second wife will not accept the third wife.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's not about accepting. That's even for me, I said earlier, it's the easiest part. To accept the second wife is even the easiest part. It's the fact that when we start having children, the comparisons, the fact that your resources are now shared. So before you could afford a really expensive private school for my child, but now that her child is involved...
That is speaking from a point. What if the person that is coming can take care of you and the family? Is that an issue?
Help your case safe. Accepting
is that an issue? So let it just be. We're talking about the realities and the circumstances that lead to those realities.
Let me tell you a funny story. My father had 27 wives, and one woman came from Trinidad because she had heard of fella, so she wanted to be 28. And she loved him.
Are you for real?
But when she came quietly, and she didn't do as if she just, I'm coming. So the wives were nice to her.
She came as an investigator, journalist. I know the story.
By the time she did like this to fella, and They beat.
The 27 wives.
The 27 wives.
Give even one extra, even though they're 27.
Let's start back to Trinidad. I'm not joking. No. So, I agree that it's difficult to accept
a new one.
But it is, what we are saying is reality. Let us face it and know how to deal with it.
Yeah. Let me ask this
Maybe
question.
I'll let you ask your question right after the break because we're supposed to go into parenting, but I'll see if we can squeeze it in.
Today.
Stay with us right
Time
back.
not
It's
due.
parenting that brought me on.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still discussing this issue of polygamy. Yes, Bisi had a question.
Yeah, so I see that one of the problems we have when it comes to polygamy is that a lot of women are put under marriage pressure. You must be married. That is how you can attain a certain status as a woman. That's the only way you can be treated right. That's the only way you can be respected. And so a lot of people who are successful, who would have stayed on their own and do right, would decide to just find a man and just answer that man's name. How do we begin to raise the society in such a way that it's okay? Even if a man doesn't come, you are a human being and you'll be treated that way. Maybe that may help us reduce this issue of people taking people's husbands.
Okay, so the thing is that we've moved from that society that you're talking about to a different society. Things don't happen like it used to be anymore. The understanding that informed that you must find a man, it's back in the days.
The pressure is still on.
No, the pressure is not as on as it used to be back then.
It's reducing.
It's the same thing. Back then, you have like a son and 4 daughters, and they're sharing plots of land. They give one plot of land to a family that has 1 son and 5 ladies. So we get only 1 plot of land. I'm the first son of my father, and it's a royal family. And in that family, my dad was the only child that his father had. His father was the only child that he had. So what happens is that with the generation going on, it then gets to a point the man now says, I'm the only one. So he now marries many wives so that he can have many more children, so that he has many more farms and many more privileges in the family. So most times, when you then tell a woman that, so when you are faced with an option of training 2 women or training 1 son, you choose the son because the belief is the women will go out, get married, and not be members of the family again. There are families of ethnic tribes, ethnicity that approve that when the wife is married, she doesn't come back.
Yeah. Yes.
They bury her there as well.
Yes.
But there are some that say, even if she dies, you bring her home.
Yes.
If you say you won't marry again, you bring her home. There are some families who don't even want her to come back. And so when it's time, so to answer that question, that pressure of a woman must be married to be respected, it's far gone. It's far gone. There are women who have achieved a lot. In fact, there are women, what are we talking about? When you get into an exam hall and they give you question papers, do they say women answer 3 questions, men answer 6?
Of course not.
In an exam hall, the question paper is given to...
always passes the man.
Exactly. When we were in school, in command secondary school, there was a bimbo that was trashing all of us. First position, second position, third position. Where girls
on the streets.
Yeah, oh yes, we remember those kind of people because they humble us. Because when your parents then say, who took first? you now want to give the person a man's name. so that they don't have you. Because some other time you're watching TV and you say, oh, this person will do this. They say, when is this on your mouth is sharp? But when it's cool, bimbo.
Right, I can't let you leave this table without talking about parenting because we actually brought you in for the topic on parenting, but we didn't know that this Yul Edochie matter was going to take this long. But we're still probably going to bring you back for a deeper conversation. But parenting these days is getting more and more challenging. You know, recently we had so many topics on how children are just going somewhat wayward, and we're thinking, where are we losing it?
Phones.
Fathers are sometimes. I know. Yesterday we had somebody who was saying that we need more fathers involved. Women are also saying that, listen, they need help. There are a lot of single mothers out there, so they need support. What do we do? How do we help these children in the African way? Since that's where we are.
Okay, so one thing is, I'll just use an example that happened in my house 3 years ago, 4 years ago. My kids were back home during the summer holiday. It was one of those short holidays. And the boys did something, and I screamed from upstairs, what nonsense, come upstairs now, come upstairs. And my dad came out and said, why are you shouting on this? Talk to them. I said, hey? You? You. Talk to, my dad was a military man. Do you know that belt that military people have that have metal, this thing like that?
Don't tell me.
Beat you with it. What are you talking about? And when he's counting and you can't remember, he will start the counting again.
Wow.
He's the one telling me that I should talk to them, and I'm just shouting up and down.
Hi.
So I said, Daddy, did you hear yourself? He said, am I the one you are talking to like that?
Yeah, so you bring the belt out again.
Yeah, so it is that parenting had changed. Back then, parenting was with the elements. Now, then the only thing that was social media then was pen pal. Pen pal was the only social media that we had. You write a letter to somebody who is in Kuwait, or somebody who is in Cairo or any of all those places. You don't get a response till, because NIPOS was even slow then. You don't get a response till like when you are in class 4, something you wrote in 1. And then you get a response in this, and the person then says, oh, I got your mail, I replied. When you check, the letter got to you 6 months ago, but they didn't deliver to your school because the postal service was poor at the time. So parenting has changed. The elements that even make parenting hard also have changed. Back then, you had parents everywhere on the street. I could do something. Before I get home, I could get trashed by parents who were from Langtang, parents who were Cross River, parents who were from Gongola State at the time. They didn't have to even be my real parents.
Yes.
And they controlled you. But now, parenting is now, it's not different. Back then, you had one person in the house at least, who is the mother, who then says, when your dad comes, you will see what he will do. And the dad will come and lay his mighty hands on the issue. And so anytime your mom says, I will tell your dad, you have fear. But these days, both parents are on the field working.
Yes.
And so most times, the parenting, and even the foundational parenting, is now left for either TV or nannies. We had a program then called Tales by Moonlight.
Yes.
That used to teach children on respect, values, honesty, and all of that. We don't have it anymore because what now teaches children is Cartoon Network. So the orientation is different. And the orientation is that you could talk to your elders anytime, anyhow. You can call their names even. Back then, it should be somebody that told Wole Soyinka to get up from his chair. And then people went, oh, it's okay. Don't forget the story about, so you then have, but you still have those kind of people in the society who correct people. Remember the story of Queen's College, when the gate man said, you can't take this kind of hair into school. Your makeup, your lashes and all of that, you can't take it into school. We don't allow that. And stopped the girl and told her to go back. She went home, told the mother, and the mother came to fight. The same people now are saying, I asked one of the ladies, I said, was it not you that was saying what concerns the man? At the gate for correcting that child. Now, you are one of those people, because I've been waiting for the time that I will point it to her. You are one of those people now that is telling the school, why didn't they do anything about so and so? Go and check your. She now said, oh, well, the circumstances are different. How is that different? So what it means is that we sometimes just tolerate some things if it doesn't affect us. Then when it's sometime, we then put our cap of activism and make it look like, it's like somebody say, oh, let's go to Old Testament and take a few things out of there. When it's tight, we take that and say, God said we should tithe.
But
enforce it.
In this issue of parent, go ahead.
Yes. So, you have mentioned that times have changed, and the new reality is parents need to work.
Yeah.
Else, hunger will wire, not just them, but the entire household.
Okay.
Is it still possible to raise good children even when you're not there all the time? Are there things that you can, are there systems you can put in place that helps you raise them? So you come once in a while that you can afford to, but then you're raising your children well. Is it possible?
Yes, it is. It's possible. There are families that have ingrained communication across board. The mother can ask the daughter something, the daughter will tell the mom this, another person will tell. So the communication chain is open. There's no hindrance, there's no fear. So if something happens, you come home and say, Mom, so-and-so person wants us to go out this weekend. And you say, tell him to come to the house. and the person will still come to the house. Even if it's your girlfriend that says two of you should go to one eatery, they will still come to the house and ask permission. Okay? But these days, you have a situation where a lot of things are permitted. We're now in a permissive society. You even have people who open... Like my daughter has an Instagram page.
How old is she?
She's 13. And so, wait. And we opened the Instagram page for her because she's a writer. Okay. Which is different. It's not for her to go there and post her pictures. And so if you go to that page, you see Potpourri of Tales, the book. And so people can relate with it. That's all. It is not for her to put a picture of her birthday, put a picture of her day.
But what if she... what if she goes to the Instagram page? Now that she's able to open an Instagram page, she can go and open another one without your knowledge and use that one that you don't know about to start posting pictures.
See, that's the other thing with Instagram posts. You don't like yourself by yourself. When you post something, 1, 2, 3 people would like it. Except it's private.
She could do that.
Okay, if she does that, then there's something, it means that she's aware of not letting people into her space.
Right.
Do you understand?
It's her parents that she doesn't...
No.
I know somebody. I know somebody who... She posts the most outrageous things. Sorry about the English. Things. And I went to try and go into the page. Blocked. Her mother blocked. Everybody blocked. But her friends and the people that she wants to see.
So what happens is that those friends would let it come out one day.
Yeah. It comes out. Yeah.
It comes out one day. Okay, so there's another person. You know, this girl is about... I posted it. It was on Instagram. She's about like 16, 17. And she had all her mammary glands outside.
Ew.
You could see the black around her nipples.
Whoa.
But the nipples were not showing, but you could nearly see the black around it. And then she posted something, and I looked at it, and I blocked her. And then she sent a message and said, she can't see me anymore. Why? And I said, don't know that the things you post, you know, it shows on my timeline. Yeah. Anytime you post anything, it shows on my timeline. And I blocked her. She saw her mom. Okay, the mom saw us at the hotel. We were having breakfast. She came and said, my daughter said you blocked her. I said, yeah, she was posting so and so. He said, Yes. You know, now she's about 21 or 22 now. And I said, oh, really, sir? So I went and blocked the mother too. I blocked the mother. So the mother called. The mother now said, oh, all those your posts and write-ups, I can't see them anymore. I said, I blocked you. She said, why? I said, because you encourage those kind of things so that she doesn't post something and then you repost it and it will show up on my timeline because since you don't have filters.
Or your daughter sees it.
Yes. And my children will sometimes call me and say, Daddy, that thing you posted, you know, I posted something about homosexuals one time. And he said, Daddy, take that thing off your page. And I was like, why? He said, because, you know, you may be wanting to work with foreign agencies. When they see all these, they say, so these people limit our expression of ourselves.
We have to wrap up. Yes, you have to. Let me let you final question.
Find out that, social media is real.
Sure. It's here.
It's here. It's real. It's part of their growing up. We will do our best to stop them, but they will find ways. The way we're able to find ways to circumvent our parents' parenting, they would find ways. I just want to know what I can teach my child offline that would make that child a more responsible social media user when the time comes.
Make more responsible choices.
I think the best way is still by example. Best way is still by example, or exposing them to other good examples. When a child does well, back then, comparison was the way that our parents would raise us. We'll see your mates.
Coaches to say it's not good today. Don't compare yourself.
Don't mind them. Those same coaches will come and tell you, live like you want to. So how do you want to? Is it not looking at somebody's standard to
No. Comparison in the negative way. Don't give us a bad name now. When you pitch them against each other, so you can have positive comparison. So the comparison about this is where you are today. You have to do better.
Inspirational.
Than this. You have to do better than yourself tomorrow. You have to keep doing better.
How our parents
used to compare.
Do you know how many people were damaged with those comparisons? How many people started doing wrongs because their parents were comparing them? So you just pick. So with every concept, you pick the positives of it and you arrange it in such a way that it suits your child. For some children, comparison is okay. It spurs them to do more. But you have to understand if it's okay for your child.
Parents back then always wanted the best.
Yes.
And the reason that my dad told me was that the reason they wanted the best for you is so that you don't become their responsibility when they retire.
I have to wrap up, but there was a question I wanted to ask you, but I don't know if I have time. This beating thing. You men went through it, and we listen to coaches. We're learning. We want to listen to praise for. We want to listen to all these parental coaches. I know how to, but men, for some reason, because they beat you so bad, you think you must beat these children. Like it's like beating must happen.
I said my dad that used to beat me said I shouldn't beat.
That's what I'm saying. So I really want you. I would like you to come back on the show and talk about this discipline that we do with children.
Discipline may not be physical.
Yeah.
Discipline may be cutting some benefit.
Yeah.
Back then they say you will not go into a papa club.
Yes.
And it's a big thing. Or they even threaten you 7 months away. Christmas, you are not getting new clothes.
Yes, so you will nearly die.
That's at a certain age.
Yes, no, it works at a certain age up to... When you say certain age, for us till age 9, 10, Christmas was a big deal. Your birthday is a big deal.
It's a huge deal.
Just so that the tray of rice is there, like 10 spoons and cabin biscuit here and the drinks, and then you now hold the main spoon. Because there was no cake then.
We have to wrap up. Thank you so much, Alifa. As I said, we brought you in for parenting, but we'll still have to bring you back because there's so many questions we have. You know, yes, we are learning, but we also know that we need support. We need our partners to support us. And many of us have different upbringings and different exposures. So training this child is always difficult because we are from two different worlds. So I would like you to come and say, how do two different people come together?
Which is why somebody who is intelligent and has the genes of being intellectual should not marry Olodo.
Hey!
It's important, yes. Because the thing is that if she's the one at home with the child, who will do the homework?
They will outsource it.
The next time you come, the next time you come, 1 hour polygamy, second hour parenting.
We finished polygamy today.
No, we have not finished it.
Yeah, we're done.
We have not finished it.
We'll have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.